Let a man breathe and just hush so my mind could just see, so my mind don't erupt. At times I feel I can't get enough, but I sip a double cup and I spend a couple bucks. Sending out some love to my blood, to my girl, to my buds, to the homie up above.
Well, hello out there, great lands of lands. Welcome to the MCU's Bleeding Edge. We are live Friday night to discuss the 5th episode of Loki. That's right, the 5th episode, folks. And check out that killer Loki shirt Mr. TrueKnowledge is wearing there. Oh, yeah. JCPenney buy, guys. Yeah, so if you have a JCPenney's around you, go grab one. Highly recommend. Anyway, so like I said, we're discussing the 5th episode of Loki, which, if I remember correctly, is called Sci-Fi, and is the 5th of the series. So we only have one more episode after this episode, and, you know, this episode really just kind of, like, took it in a whole new direction, like, where we had to go. So this is, I thought they did a really interesting but yet fun idea with this episode. So, of course, as always, on the panel with me tonight is Mr. Jeff S. TrueKnowledge. How we doing, Jeff?
Holding it down, holding the panel down, baby, until Time Cop decides to leave the year 2079 and join the show.
Awesome. Yes, that I figured as much. You know that. You know, Mr. 2079. He needs to, you know, do his 2079 stuff. So, what a character.
Maybe his co-host is Jean-Claude.
Possibly. That, you know, we keep saying that we think that Jean-Claude is there with him in the Time Cop dimension, and he doesn't agree. But we know he's actually there. He's been lying to us this whole time. I think.
Who else would be the Time Cop dimension but Jean-Claude?
Exactly, especially since Time Cop was his movie.
Would he be the president of the shit or whatever, or something like that? He'd be like,
yes, I think he would be. I definitely think we would. Yeah, I would say he'd be the fan club of his own fan club. I think too.
I think we'd be better off with Jean-Claude as president right now, but don't tell anybody.
Everyone, shh! Don't repeat that.
No politics on the AFC's Bleeding Edge.
No, none of that. None of that, people. None. Anyways, so before we get into the review, there was a wonderful little Marvel trailer dropped today for us, showing us what Echo, the TV series, is going to be like. And I got to tell you, I've already seen it a couple times now. I don't know. Have you watched it yet, Jeff? No. So this will be
I just saw the Hulu thing on it. That's all I saw. I saw the Hulu attached to it.
I honestly, after we watch this, we're gonna watch this for you folks. We're gonna give you a quick Echo TV series trailer reaction for you guys here, and to see just what this is all about. But I'll tell you what I've seen so far. The twice times I've watched it, I was actually kind of taken back. I will say that I was not expecting it to look like this, especially with all the production delays, and you know, with it being about Echo. So yeah, this will be interesting to watch. So whenever you have that ready, sir,
I heard she's going to be the villain of the show.
I have heard that too. From the trailer, it looks like that too.
All right, drop an echo cancellation.
Maya. I see everything that you are.
There's the man.
I always have.
They better do him right. Nice. Now that is Wilson Fisk right there. When he puts that mitts on you, man.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. I just killed that dude. Wow. Holy fuck. The music is fucking awesome.
You have so much pain in you. You. So much rage. That you can't contain it.
What? What?
You and I.
Oh, that's from her perspective. What she hears, and she kills the dude. Wow.
Who's the monster?
Wow. Holy fuck.
So
That
there you
music.
go, folks. If you look at the very bottom there, it says make sure to put your TVMA on your Disney Plus because it is going to be TVMA.
Meaning what? It's going to be rated R?
Yeah,
I was about to say that looks rated R.
it's TVMA. Yes, they are making sure that this is going along the same aspect as Daredevil Born Again. They're making sure that it's TVMA. And when I saw that, it blew my mind because I'm like,
this blows my mind. So how could they fucking do that and then fuck Daredevil up to where they're gonna have to go back and go back to the drawing board? Like, what has been going on at Marvel Studios? I don't even get this. I'm sorry, Raymond. That fucking trailer was sick. Like, if they're gonna bring up her Indian heritage and whatnot, what is this? Is this gonna be like a prequel that's gonna blend in to real life, to real time, or something like that? Because it looks like a lot of that is like,
I'm sure there'll be a lot of flashbacks. Yes, yeah, there'll be a lot of flashbacks, but it will be current because, as you saw at the end there, that was Fisk after she shot him at the end of Hawkeye.
yeah, he
Notice the patch on his eye.
Well, in the comics, he's blinded when she shoots him.
Yeah.
And then he regains his sight.
Yep.
That having Fisk start off like that and everything and whatnot, that's promising.
Very much so. That's what I said. Like I was blown away by this.
Wow.
It actually looks like they're trying to do something good here. Looks like they're trying to refix their errors. And just like you were saying, what's been up with Marvel and everything, I honestly think that's probably one of the reasons why this was delayed several times and reshoots were done, because they were trying to recategorize it with what Daredevil Born Again is going to be. I honestly think that's really because
of course, because it was supposed to pipeline right into it.
Exactly, and Echo's supposed to be one of his main bad guys. So I don't know if you noticed, but it showed Daredevil in the trailer.
I didn't even see him. Was he not in costume?
Yeah, he was in costume. He did a quick flip. Yeah. You just got to watch it again.
I know he's going to be in the series. I know he's going to be there. I'm sure in trailer 2 they'll actually show him, and they'll show he'll be as Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, because they have a relationship in the comics. What a shock! It's Daredevil,
which I don't know if they'll go that route. We don't know yet. But
that's what seems to happen. Daredevil's the man, bro.
Yeah, but it's Marvel, Disney. Hello,
come on.
We just said how screwed up they are.
Just as he got downed by She-Hulk.
No. You can't screw it up any more than that, okay, people? Just FYI.
Did you hear that She-Hulk cost? Did you hear that She-Hulk cost $30 million an episode?
Yeah, I knew that from the get-go.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. All the CGI.
That is insane.
All the CGI. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It was like a total of $200 million for that whole season, and it was $220 million all for Secret Invasion.
What a dump. What a waste of fucking money.
And then just like that article I saw earlier about the Blade, it's only going to be $100 million.
Good. They don't need 100 million.
For Blade.
Cut out all the bullshit, right? Yeah, no, I'm seriously though, Cyber, like we were talking about earlier. If you just make it like an action movie like the first Blade, you only need 100 million. What was the budget for the first Blade film? It probably was only 100 million.
The original Blade back in '98 was probably like 50 to 60 million.
Andres, I added you to the show, but you're not allowed to come on the screen yet, brother. I'm sorry. You got to stay in the corner.
It's because you were in Time Cop Dimension again. You were a naughty boy, and we are
too busy, right?
Yeah, you and Jean-Claude Van Damme's goddamn fan club.
I'm gonna have to talk to Jean-Claude myself.
You know Jean-Claude, you liar,
folks. Ladies and gentlemen, me and my mom were watching Criminal Minds, so that was more important than just coming in.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're on your Criminal Minds trip right now. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
TV Did you see the Echo trailer?
Punctuality, sir. Yeah, no. Sorry, no.
What, Andres, he was late for his own live stream the other night.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god.
I've been late for live streams before too. Don't worry about it. It's all right, Andres. Andres, did you see the Echo trailer?
Yeah, I did. I was surprised.
It's fucking good, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, so okay. You guys went with your reactions? I can go quickly.
We're just going back and forth.
Okay. Yeah. I really liked the trailer. I was very surprised how gritty and dark it is. You know, as a kind of Netflix kind of feel to it, which is neat. I'm really excited to see this.
Good point.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this. The Daredevil, the Kingpin Echo relationship that was kind of hinted at in Hawkeye, if you haven't seen that show. So I think that's really cool. That's another side of Kingpin we never seen before. You've seen a little bit of his obsession with Vanessa, and it's kind of similar to a version of Kingpin from the Spider-Verse. If you've seen that version of the Kingpin in Spider-Verse, the first movie, where he was trying to get his family back by using the multiverse. And so seeing this idea of having him have having Echo be his own legitimate child, like he's taking in Echo as his own child in a way, and his criminal empire is kind of unique and interesting to take for this Kingpin in the MCU. So yeah, so I really liked the trailer. I was kind of shocked. I mean, because so many of the rumors and the conversation that we three have brought up with Echo, it's kind of it was sign of trouble. You know, the fact they're releasing all episodes, but I don't know. Maybe it's a good sign. Maybe
everything that Marvel comes out with these days, Andres, I'm worried. I've got concerns.
I mean, yeah. I mean, everyone has that. I mean, I don't know. You read the Variety, but this week there's another article about
Blade. Yeah, we talked about Blade. Did you hear about Blade?
Apparently 5 writers have been in this project, and I
wires?
He was going to get 5 writers. Yeah.
Oh, why?
He was going to get buried and not even be the lead of the film.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. So,
I mean, seriously, and I heard Kevin Feige yelled at somebody for the first time.
Yes. I'm sorry. I when I got to that part, I was laughing out loud. I was like, really? I'm like,
it's about time, Kevin.
Yeah, about time, Kevin. Maybe he should be loud. No way. He should be yelling at people from Thor: The Dark World or Iron Man 2, but now it's come on. It's just anyway. It's just so the article was very intriguing.
Just to wrap up the Echo trailer reaction, because that's what we were doing. Cyber, I don't know about you. I mean, do we have a release date for when they're dropping the Echo series?
January 10th.
January 10th. So, Andres, do we ever figure out whether or not we know when X-Men 97 is coming out?
It's coming next year, but they haven't made the release date for 97.
So then, is it possible at all, Cyber, that our what if reviews might cross over into Echo?
Yeah, they definitely will because it's.
So we're gonna have to double up them. So we're basically gonna have to double up or something like that, or whatever, whatnot, or maybe do some just straight recording reviews or something like that, and whatnot, or do something to be able to keep up with both shows.
We'll just have to postpone movies and take up the other slot with the other show.
We are the MCU's bleeding edge.
I mean, my opinion is like, what if it's like maybe we should just put 2 episodes in one review? Because I mean, what if it's just an animation thing? I don't know. It's just I feel like live action is more important to review than animation show. You know,
I'm looking forward to What If Season 2. Looking back at What If Season 1, I liked it. I like the animated stuff. I do. So, and again, remember, What If Season 2 is going to have Tony in it and everything. It's going to have ScarJo. It's not ScarJo, the voice actor, the character, but they're going to have Black Widow. It's like all those characters because they shot all this stuff in one clump.
Yep.
And now they're dumping it in Season 2.
Yep.
So we're going to see T'Challa. We're not going to see T'Challa again, but we're going to see. I heard there's a lot of Peggy Carter in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll make you real happy.
Yeah.
So what would you give this trailer, people? What rating would you give the trailer?
Oh, it's a 10.
Andres?
A 9 out of 10.
Okay. I give it a 10 as
Andres, that's like the 4th fucking time in a row that you've dropped a 9 out of 10 on a review. What is that now? Chucky, episode 4, you dropped a 9. Loki, episode 4, you dropped a 9. just because I'm working with, just because my man thing is 9 inches doesn't mean that you got to start dropping 9s, baby. What's up,
sir? You're so wild today. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I had to deal with Jeff. He thinks he knows everything. He's such a show off. You know.
Awesome.
No.
Anyways, folks, that is our.
I know pieces have shrunk in the year 2077, but
no, please, no more time. Please, no more. And the audience are going to be confused.
Awesome.
Cyber, one thing I was actually thinking about it. I was talking to Matthew from over in Australia about this, actually, see what he thought about it, because I love the Aussies, so I go to them, for feedback. I was thinking, what if I changed my name like Prince into a symbol instead of like a symbol like Prince? Mine would be like a penis emoji.
I can see you doing that, sir. I can see you doing that.
Hey, did you see me in the chat using This Is the Way the other day?
Yep.
That was good, right?
Always funny. Always funny. All right, folks. So that's the end of that Echo trailer reaction. So now we will move on to Loki episode 5. All right. So Loki episode 5 starts off right where episode 4 stopped. It basically pans into Loki opening his eyes after he saw the blast. He opens his eyes. He's still there. He's still inside the TVA. And but everyone else has disappeared. He starts making his way through the TVA, looking for if there's anybody there. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he starts to time slip again.
Oh, the Bone Man, huh? No, my new name now is I'm adding to TrueKnowledge. It's the process.
It's the process, people.
She had a lot of work done just on her. Yeah, sure. Yeah, both of you.
All right, folks. Thank you, Raymond, for being in our chat section, in our comment section, Mr. Booze and Chill. Looks
Raymond
like
was reviewing a beer earlier. He was drinking a beer from a chick that's made from her yeast from her vagina.
That is true. That is true.
What?
Yeah.
So, like I said, Loki starts to time slip. He ends up time slipping into, basically into another room where another version of him is, and basically goes in there and he's there for a brief second seeing himself, and then he disappears again. And then the other one walks over to the table and basically grabs a TBA manual and is looking at it, and all of a sudden notices things starting to do the string thing, like what happened to Victor Timely. So he starts running to get out of there as that's happening, and then all of a sudden he time slips himself. All right. So after he time slips, basically that's when we see kind of the TVA start to unravel itself. We start seeing things start to disappear, starts turning into those strings, just like what Victor Timely did. And all of a sudden we see on the screen, it says system basically like rebooting, basically restarting, or failsafe. That's what it says. Starting failsafe. And basically, I'm assuming maybe that's something that He Who Remains put into effect, or one of the Kang versions. I'm not sure. But all of a sudden, it just says that, and then all of a sudden that TV disappears, which I was like, ooh, well, will that still be in effect if that disappears like that? Which I found kind of interesting. All right, so let's see where my time slaves has been stitched. Yeah, but the failsafe has been initiated. Then we come across Casey for the first time again in a couple episodes. I don't think we've seen Casey since, like, I think episode 3, I think it was last time we saw him. Because was he present?
No, he was in 4. He was in 4.
Okay.
He was just only in 2 seeds.
Okay, so that's what. So he was briefly in there, and we come across Casey, but he's in San Francisco, 1962, escaping from Alcatraz. And this was hilarious when, like, we're watching it, and I'm like, are they freaking escaping from Alcatraz? Like they're Clint Eastwood in Escape from Alcatraz, those guys that broke out in the 1960s. I'm like, this is hilarious. And it basically kind of shows him get his ragtag crew together, and they have a raft and everything, and they're trying to make their way down to the thing. And that's when Loki all of a sudden pops up there in 1962, and he goes over to Casey and starts trying to talk to him, and basically he ends up realizing that Casey doesn't recognize him and doesn't, realize who he is. And they're like, yeah, we gotta get going. We have a precious time here. We gotta keep going. Casey keeps saying, which is funny. So then, basically after he's there standing with Casey, it basically goes over to B-15 in New York in 2012, which I found kind of funny that they have her end up in New York 2012, which is when all the Thanos shit was going on. That's when Loki was trying to take over the world. And she's somehow now a doctor of some sort, or a pediatrician, and like working in this hospital there. So we get to see her briefly. Loki does not pop up there yet, which I thought was funny that they had him pop up at Casey, but didn't have him pop up at B-15s yet. And then that's when we come, he time slips to Mobius for the first time. So before we move on with Mobius, what were you guys' thoughts kind of on that kind of introduction to the episode? What did you find interesting about that? What were your thoughts on what's going on with, why is everything unraveling? The, failsafe was initiated. What were your thoughts on that? What did you think about all of a sudden Loki starting to time slip again? And just kind of your thoughts leading up to the first time we see Mobius. Starting with you, Jeff.
Well, I think anybody who drank the vaginal yeast beer became spaghettified immediately. Obviously. I mean, they didn't have a warning on the label or anything like that, whatnot about it, but something bad's going to happen when you drink that beer. So I'm just putting it out there. But no, what I think is that I don't understand how it's possible that they could have this good fucking writing in Loki, right? And then have this shit in all these other series and whatnot and everything and all that. And then Loki is like this fucking shining beacon. I just don't understand it. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. I just don't get it. I don't get why, like how fucking like Loki manages to be really fucking good, right? Which sucks because if you're a fan of the MCU, you know people are other fans have walked away or are turned off right now by the product, and they're not watching this right now, right? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? Or a lot of people aren't. And like, you know, I mean, I don't follow the numbers hardcore, the tracking with Disney Plus. They've gotten a lot more efficient with it than it used to be with streaming, the analytics. Ahsoka didn't do very well. You know, looking back, I'm sure you guys have seen that the numbers weren't that good. Although we all enjoyed it. I liked Ahsoka. I think I'm actually already excited for season 2 already. So, you know, but either way, I thought the intro was great. It made me think about how I haven't watched that Clint Eastwood Escaping It from Alcatraz film in forever, and I need to watch it. It's a good ass movie. You know, for its day, it's a really good movie. It really is. It's a great Clint Eastwood movie. Not great non-Western Clint Eastwood movie. Either way, no, I thought it was good. I thought it was. It's hard. It's got to be hard to like write your way out of the ending of an episode 4 type situation, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be tough to like, you know, write off that, right? And so I put myself in that situation. You know, I think they did a great job. I think that I don't see how they don't end up doing a season 3 off this. I don't. Regardless of what's going on with things being in flux with Marvel or the MCU and its schedule and not everything, I don't see how they don't do a season 3. I think they've already written a season 3 probably already. Basically, it's already like probably in the can. They already know what they want to do probably with it and whatnot. It'll boil down to whether they green light it or not. But I thought that the only thing about the intro, one of the cool things about the intro for me that I really enjoyed, and I'll pass it over to Andres, is I like the fact that it's stripped down to Loki now. For the first time in the series, it's just him, right? Like there's no one else, you know. And remember, he he tells Sylvie later on in the episode, he doesn't want to be alone. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? He already said in season 1 that like the reason why he hurts people and whatnot and everything is because he does like overall the reason he wants the world dominate and shit is because he doesn't want to be alone. You know, like you know, that's it pretty much for me is just, you know, I thought that it was great that they started off like that and that they put him in the position where he has to. It's difficult to understand. I mean, this has been a tough series in terms of like all the meta shit. But watching him see all of the characters in their timelines, it just was a great storytelling.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Andres, same question, sir. Your thoughts on kind of that intro leading up to our first introduction to Mobius?
Yeah, it was a pretty good opening. I was kind of shocked that I guess the time sleeping was going to be important in the series, so that was kind of cool. I mean, first though, the special effects for the sketty whatever that Jeff brought up in the chat was like very neat. I mean, I mean to respond to the question about Jeff about the quality of these shows, versus Loki. It's just everyone. I think this show just has a lot of people that care about this show. I mean, this is Loki. Tom Hiddleston's involved. I think everyone is like in top form. I mean, you got shows that do have passion, but then they get screwed over by the top notch people and executive producers and all that. And it happens. And Loki has been so far been untouched by the MCU so far, there hasn't been like tempering it, which is a good sign. They're allowing the creators to do their thing, which is neat. Especially this episode. Like, one of the things I appreciate about this episode is I like that I don't know what we're gonna get for the finale. Like, that's such a good sign in terms of going into the season finale. And so I think I'm very excited. I think they really are sticking the landing because, as I brought up many times, it's like either 4 or 5 is where like the show goes downhill. And so far Loki has been sticking the landing for the last 5 episodes, which is incredible. I mean, it's just not my favorite. It's not my favorite episode. I think it's the weakest out of the 4 episodes, but at the same time, it still has energy. Yeah, energy and gravitas.
It's a 9.
No, it's not. No.
No, I was saying this is the 5th episode, so out of the 5 episodes, you mean?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Cyber.
An extra episode occurred in the year 2056, Cyber.
Anyway,
I knew that.
No. Anyway, yeah, the actor. I can't talk now. I'm sorry. In fact, I'm so speechless.
Way to go, Jeff! Damn.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Jeff. Fuck you.
Oh, that's it. There's going to be an analytical spike right there because Andres not only said "fuck you" once, he said it twice.
I can go the 3rd time, buddy. I can do that.
Hey,
anyway,
I'm going to process your ass later on, bitch. Watch out.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah, I was like, so I think for the reason we went with Casey, right? From doing the time slip, I think it's just a way to disorientate us, like, because this whole episode is about Loki controlling the time slip, and we know from episode 1 he doesn't know how to control the time slip, and so here we're again doing the time slip. He's like meeting randomly his friends, in these different timelines. It's like, okay, what's going on? Like the fact that Cassie was Frank or some character from the Actocrass escapee, that was like cool, and I was like, what the heck is going on with that? Seeing B-15 as a doctor in the 2012. I don't know if you guys noticed this in the when they always bring up the title of the timeline, like, okay, we're in 1983 or like 20. I like they brought up 2012 branched timeline. I don't know.
I like the font they always use.
Yeah.
They always use the same font. I like the font.
It's like the scale. This is almost like a timeline scale, and like it goes forward or backwards. Like that's really cool. I like how underneath the time they're in, they put branch timeline. That was something they didn't do in the first season. That was like very neat. I don't know if they did that in this season 2. I think they're bringing up now. But anyway, so it was cool to see the various characters in the different timeline. I guess this is their, like actual timeline. I don't know about Casey. I don't know him being a criminal is like true, but I don't know. So yeah, so before we meet Morbius, I thought the whole sequence was awesome. I mean, the special effects is still good. They really spend money on the special effects, so like the time statement is actually a really cool effect. So yeah, so I'm excited to talk more about Morbius. And no, Jeff, it's not going to be 9 or 10. It's going to be lower. Well, somewhat lower. But anyway, that's it. Bye. Have a nice day.
All right. So, folks, I just wanted to reiterate it's Mobius, not Morbius, that's in this series. Not Morbius. Mobius. Morbius is the living vampire.
Mr. M. I forgot his name, Mr. M. That's his name.
Mr. M, people. Mr. M. All right. So, good job, sir. Good job. Thank you. But just to reiterate on your streaming comment there, sir, 39% drop in the first season. That to me just says we're not in COVID anymore, because that's the reason why that one was so high, because nobody was doing anything. They were watching only streaming. So that's why there was such a huge drop, I think, between that season and this season, because a lot more people aren't watching as much anymore. The superhero fatigue and crap like that. Yes, there's a little bit of it, I think, but I don't think it's enough to drop it that dramatically. I think it's a mixture of things.
No, it's also we have other content that people are watching. You know, it's not only Loki. I don't know what's going on around. Like, I don't know what's on now, but like, there's other things that I'm doing that.
Yeah, there are, and I'm really happy about it. I think we all are. There's lots of good stuff in the movie theater right now to watch. Right there's stuff coming out on Netflix and stuff that's good. There's other series out there that are other TV series that are being made. Like The Boys is still going on. Right, like the
spinoff just ended this week.
Is The Boys over?
No. The Boys haven't come back yet, but the spinoff was
Gen Z.
Yeah, it ended this week. So yeah.
Cyber and I were talking about it in the studio.
Oh,
and so I think that there's a huge, there's definitely a huge discrepancy there, I feel. So I don't look at that and go, oh, that's such a steep decline. I don't think that means really anything, because I think this show is still considered the #1 watched streaming on Disney Plus right now. Plus, also think about it, the first season was released in more of a prime time area of the time frame too. It was released in June, whereas this was released in October. So I think that also plays into its effect too as well, because during October, a lot of people watch horror films. A lot of things are being just starting back up for a certain series. So I think that also contributed to that supposed #2 as well. So just wanted to talk about that for a second.
And also the episodes. Speaking of the episodes, season 1's episodes were on Wednesdays, and then our episodes, first 2, is on always Thursdays. That's another thing. That's different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know that means I've probably gone to more massage parlors this season than I went to last season's reviews.
You didn't go to any the last time we were reviewing this, sir.
I know, I knew it. I know. I would have been too scared to go to one, probably.
All right, folks. So back to the episode.
The massage parlor is scary. Don't go there.
Wow.
And so back to the episode. So now, like I said, we have crossed Mobius for the first time. It's supposed to be 2022 current time at when this show is supposed to be going, and he is a skidoo salesman, like we have heard previously in the episodes about him being big into jet skiing. He's a jet ski salesman. And we see him kind of in his element. Loki pops up and comes into the store briefly. And he goes to Mobius and starts talking to him. And he's like, yeah, I remember you. You came in here last week, didn't you? And stuff like that. And he's like, no. He's like, we're old acquaintances, type of deal. And he's like, no, I think I would have remembered you like that, kind of deal. Like, once again, he's realizing that, he doesn't remember him either. And basically they're talking, and then he time slips again. And then we end up in 1994, which I thought was kind of funny. 1994, and that's where we come across OB. And he is in a bookshop trying to buy a book, and the book happens to be his own book that he's trying to buy. And then he's like has put all of his copies into the store for some reason. And he's like, basically they figure out what he's trying to do, and so he has to take him away. And he goes back to his place, and that's where Loki pops back up again. And basically that's when Loki starts to try to explain himself again to OB. OB understands and believes him, and then basically they kind of get a conversation about what they can do. And of course, OB being the technical person he is, and writing the TVA book and all that, he's basically like says, your time slipping and all this kind of stuff, and basically what is gone, but still it's in the past. You can go back to the past, basically. And basically that's when he comes up and tells him that you had a time portal device that you could do that. And he's like, well, you made one. Can you make one? He's like, yeah, I could try to make one again, but I don't have anything to go off of, and it could take me years. He's like, oh, we don't have years, type of deal. And then he notices that he has a TVA book in his pocket and pulls it out and gives it to Obi. He's like, here you go. Here's where you can learn it. He's like, I wrote this? And he's like, yeah, this is on every desk in the TVA. And he's like, so I did write a book that was super famous, maybe. And so from there, he once again time slips again. And this time he ends up back at Mobius's, this time at his house. Before that, though, they do have a conversation briefly about Loki trying to control his time slipping. And Obi basically says to him that you should be able to control it because you're causing it. And so he tries to do it, but it doesn't do anything. And that's, when he's coming up with they come up with the idea for building the time thing. And that's when he disappears and goes back to Mobius's. All right. So we'll stop there before we move on. So what were your guys' thoughts kind of in that section there of the episodes leading up to our second seeing of Mobius? What did you think about the whole conversation with OB and kind of that camaraderie there that they were come up with, all the ideas and stuff like that? Was there anything particular that you got out of that conversation that seems poignant to the rest of the series? Was there anything that popped out exclusively to you that you're like, oh, maybe somebody didn't notice that, or that was interesting, or something like that? And what did you think about the first introduction to Mobius and the whole jet ski thing? Just overall, your thoughts kind of on that little section of the episode. This time we'll start with you, Andreas.
Sure. Yeah, this sequence. I think I was very fascinated about OB. OB has been a great character. I think Kate Kuwan has been a great addition to the Loki cast. And first off, him being a scientist / fail author, science fiction author, may I add, is hilarious. I was just laughing so hard when when he was buying his own books, and then the manager coming out from the corner is like, oh no, not you again. He's like, that was hilarious. And you kind of feel, I feel sorry for this Dr. I don't know what's his timeline name, Wills or something like that. Dr. Wills, this obese human name. I right away you start to like him right away, which is kind of cool. And him meeting Loki was funny, and just them it was cool to see this Tom Hiddleston and Obi having Tom Hiddleston and Kawan interacting was really awesome. I think they really had good chemistry, and just them discussing the difference between science accurate versus fiction. Because apparently the books that Dr. Wills has created, it sounds familiar. It sounds like the actual things that's happening. We're watching, and I like that they didn't go too far with it. It's oh, okay, he made a meta, a actual fiction writing that's what happened now. We're watching the show, and so that's really cool. Of course. Okay. After that, it was cool to see OB telling Loki to control his time slot. I can do that. I'm so jealous of Cyber. You did two fucking how you I can do. Wait.
Dodge, tell them fucking legalos to shut up.
Yeah. So anyway, stop it, Dodger. Stop distracting me. God. Anyway, So yeah, it was cool to see Loki trying to control his power, which was funny. I will say, like, I do find it funny that Loki did have the handbook on him, so that was like kind of convenient that he had that. But whatever, it was kind of cool to see that. A handbook and like wait, he's able to make the Temp Pad. The conversation between how you say Mr. M and Loki was really cool because throughout the series you didn't know what life did Mr. M had, Owen Wilson's character, and like seeing it, he's this typical like Owen Wilson's character that you kind of see in.
I figured he was potentially like a Skinamax actor.
No, I thought he was gonna be like I don't know what was the fan theories, like he was gonna be Owen Wilson the actor, and like that was the reveal for Mr. M's background in the timeline. But it wasn't. He was like this doofus, like he's kind of like Bart Simpson's character. Like he's very doofus and like, but he's very lovable as a yeah. Well, like for Mr. M, yeah, he's very like selfless.
Where
Like
was Bart Simpson in the series?
I'm comparing him to Mr. M because yes. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I confused you, Cyber. But anyway,
You always confuse me,
yeah, I know. I'm sorry, folks. I'm confused.
especially because you're from the Time Cop Dimension 2079.
I know. I mean, you're very evolved from us, Andres. I mean, we're way back down. I mean, you're up there. We're down here. We don't fuck with Jean-Claude.
I'm not. You're the one that's showing the screen.
Just because we review Bloodsport doesn't mean that we get down with Jean-Claude.
Well. If you put me in
Or,
the top, no.
Until we review Kickmaster, we can't fuck with them.
No. If you put me in the top of the screen, then I am from the future. But I'm the bottom because I'm the third host of in this show. Anyway.
Why just for you? I figured you want to be on the bottom because I figured
no.
In a hypothetical.
I prefer the top left, so I'm good.
Oh, well, I prefer the top as well.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, why are we talking about the top left? Anyway, I'm sorry, folks. This is our fault.
I like the top bunk, bitch.
This is all your fault. Yeah, top. Yeah, I had the top of the mountain, sir. Anyway, so like what I'm saying is that he, seeing his personality very different from the one we see Mr. M is very intriguing. Like he has a family, he is this, he's a very lovable dad, but like, he's like having this like mundane life. And, seeing Loki seeing this, his best friend who has helped him for the last 2 seasons, it's kind of like weird. And so I think that was great. And just how Loki is trying to convince him to come back is kind of hard because it's like, taking this whole information is just like ridiculous. But, ending this part, I like how, OB came right away after he like immediately got, what was it, 15 minutes he say, or what, 2 years or something like to get the Temp Pad ready?
We haven't gotten to that part yet.
Okay.
You just said 15 minutes or 2 years? That's a big fucking gap, baby.
Yeah.
I just saw this.
It's that Time Cop Dimension again. What can we
I was about to say, that's a big gap.
I'm sorry, folks. This is not the night I was expecting for Loki.
He was like, it could be a lifetime. It could be he was like, it could be a lifetime, and ended up taking 18 months.
Yeah, 18 months. Thank you. I was like, it was either.
Like I said, we're not talking about that yet.
Okay. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
Cyber, don't you know the Time Cop has to like go past the moderation at least 3 times per show?
I know that. Yes, I know this.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think the only way to stop that is to abruptly go, stop it, and see if that helps him get back to the Time Cop Dimension so that he doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm done. Jeff, you can go. I'm done.
Okay, before you go, Jeff, just want to shout out Mr. Raymond from Booze and Chill. Thank you for the super sticker, sir. You are rocking it. Thank you, sir. You are awesome. Now, to Jeff, sir. Your thoughts on that section leading up to the second meeting of Mobius.
Thank you very much, Raymond. We appreciate you, brother. You're a good friend. Anytime you want to do another bandmate reaction with me where I actually let you talk and I shut up, I'm down. We're good to go. In the meantime, I like the super money's good. So I think I'm going to start making an effort to make sure that more people come in and actually start giving us those. Cause like $5 is positive. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't go, that goes a long way at the massage parlor, baby. It's a start. Anyways, but no, honestly, they wrote Sylvie's arc in this season. They wrote it. It's almost like they wanted to write it to be like a big fuck you to her character. She sucks in this episode. I love fucking Sylvie. Even I now am starting to be like, this is fucking ridiculous. Her arc just sucks. I mean, it's not good. I'm sorry, but she's I'm not saying it's not a detractment at all from the episode or from the show, but the way that they I love this episode. I love this part of the episode, the sort of nuts and bolts, and I love seeing. We don't know for sure that any of this is real. We don't know that these timelines are real. We don't know that for a fact. We don't know that this is where Hunter B15 really comes from. We don't know that we have no idea. That's the thing. That's where we're at right now. Who knows what the fuck happened when the loom exploded? Right? Seriously. They already were overloaded by branch timelines to begin with. When the loom exploded, it probably blew up and probably created even more branch timelines. That's why everything is spaghettifying the way it is, because that's what happens. He Who Remains explained this in the finale. When you overload the loom and the system and whatnot and everything, it's a sacred timeline. The whole point of the TVA and the pruning and whatnot and everything, right, is to keep it so the loom doesn't become overloaded. They don't have to expand the rings or anything like that and whatnot, right? That's why they were pruning them, because it overloads the plume. Now, I'll tell you, I'm not a fan of the multiverse. I'm not. I like it in small doses. But I don't like the fact that the Marvel decided to go in the direction to go this heavy into the multiverse. And I've said that as a guest on multiple shows. You can go back years and see me talk about this and say, I don't like the multiverse. I don't want to see the X-Men come out of it. Right? Whatever original X-Men team we get, I don't want it to come from the multiverse. I want it to be like the comics where it's organic. Right? From the X Gene and shit and whatnot and everything, right? You know what I'm saying? The way it's supposed to be with the original team, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Wolverine, eventually, you know what I'm saying? Storm, right? Beast, Angel, Nightcrawler and all that, hopefully we'll get with S-Men 97. We will with S-Men 97, which I'm really looking forward to. But, I think that, again, Tom Hiddleston does such a great job. He's almost he wasn't an Avenger, but think about it. He was the villain of the Avengers. He's been around since phase 1. He's as close to, he's basically, we have the OG Avengers that we love so dearly. Tom Hiddleston's in that category. He's been there since day 1.
Yep, he's been there since Thor 1.
Yeah, he's been there.
2011.
He's still there, and he can still play the character for another 10 years. Right? I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere.
He can play the character till 60.
I think he'll be in Kang Dynasty. I do. I don't know if they're going to make him an Avenger. I don't think they will. Go ahead, Andres.
Yeah, they have to, because I agree with you, Jeff. I was worried about this franchise going to multiverse, and so far it's been so bad, convoluted. It's not even connecting from each other really at all. Like they haven't connected at all with Loki. Like Loki has done a really good
Kang's
job.
not a good villain. He's not Thanos. He's a good villain in Loki. He's not a good villain in overall. He's not Thanos.
I disagree. I think you can make Kang be a good villain. I just think I think you need to do is like get the Loki writers in the Avengers movies, and like then you got a good villain there. You know, it's just I don't think the team from Ant-Man 3 just weren't the right people to handle Kang. You know, it's just
People in the
approach.
audience want to feel something, want to connect with something that's human, that they can experience, they can connect with themselves. Something like Thanos, where it's one individual person that you're fighting against with a motive that you can understand, that's somewhat logical. That's what they want to see as a villain, not someone who can come who there's millions of them, and you can just keep coming up with more of them over and over and over again from anywhere. That's all I'm saying.
No. I understand. I agree. I'm very curious what they're going to do with Kang if they move forward with Kang. You know, right now it's kind of
this stuff's very meta, right, Andres? It really is. It's very meta. I mean, it's very deep. Like some of this multiverse shit is deep, and your average fan, like your average audience member out there, that maybe is just starting to get into the MCU now. They're just starting to get into Marvel now, maybe like a young kid or something like that, or whatever, whatnot. How are they going to process this?
No. It's just the way how you do it. We already have so many multiverse stories. I mean, we got the 2 Spider-Verse. We have everything everywhere all at once. It's just how you do it. It's have to be successful, and you know the Marvel studios haven't done that successfully. You know, Loki has been successful, but not like besides No Way Home. You know, Multiverse of Madness didn't do well. So yeah.
Let me finish Cyber to say that no Ravonna Renslayer in this episode. So that means in the finale, we're going to see her in the void.
That's true.
That is true. Is your name Cyber Time Cop? Huh?
I say sure. I didn't say nothing, sir. Actually, I'm your son, Cyber. Actually,
that is true. You are my son. So and when I tell you that, shut up.
Wait a minute, Cyber's my son. How are you his son? How's that possible? It's already impossible. It's already impossible he can be my son. Now you're his son?
No. Actually, the truth is, your guys are my sons, and I'm from the future.
Cyber, no, that would make us his great grandfathers.
Cyber, we've got to get this son of a bitch down to Daytona Beach.
Yes, you do. Yep. Most definitely.
I love you, Mark, but I think Andres deserves to be at Rockville more than you do. I'm sorry.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Just to clarify, that is not a Marvel film. Were you were just comparing that, Andres, again to something?
Yes.
Okay.
Just the multiverse stuff. I'm not
okay,
just
the multiverse. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to confuse you, Saber. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you keep pointing these things that are associated with Marvel.
I remember he's more evolved than we are. He's from the time cop dimension.
That might be so, but still, we are cavemen here. We need to be caveman talked to, okay?
Yeah.
I like my caveman shit.
He's at like Huang level.
Oh, that's what it
Huang.
is. Yeah.
Huang.
Yep. That is true.
Leave Mr. H alone, please.
Huang.
It's not H. All right. So, great job, guys. Wonderful, beautiful. Very, very well done. Very well done. All right, so moving on.
They're going to kill me. I told them to send me a video holding an object and start nodding.
Anything is a dildo when you really put your mind to it. There's no such thing as too large or too sharp. Every time you stop to question yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I can, and I will.
So the one with the weight and the one with the pig, I wouldn't want to go near them because they're going to be stretched out like hell. That's just scary.
I've never played it before for Andres. Andres, hey, we're all about women's self-empowerment over here. So,
excuse me, I've seen this clip. You already done that.
Before? Oh, okay.
Yes, you put it in one of our reports as a joke.
All right. Okay.
How dare you?
Well, we're all about women's sexual liberation. So if they need to use, tight, sharp, obtuse, large objects or whatever, whatnot, as dildos and whatnot, we support that.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. All right. So back to the episode. So, like I said, where we left off, we were coming to Loki slipping again back to Mobius, this time at his house or his residence in the 2022 time frame. We basically see Mobius out there, and he's dealing with his two sons, the one not listening and running off, and having the other one go and try to help find him. Of course, Mobius is picking some stuff up, and that's when Loki walks on over, and he goes, oh, do you remember me? He's like, oh yeah, from earlier today, blah blah blah, and basically Loki kind of just spills it out, letting him know, hey, we knew each other in another time. Basically, your name was Mobius. We were friends. You saw something in me, and that I could be good, I could be better than what I am, even though everyone else didn't, and all this stuff, and trying to help kind of jog his memory. And this Mobius is being very reluctant to believe any of this, and he's not like the Mobius we know, being very optimistical, and so they're talking, basically walking. He ends up taking a bit to his garage to show up jet skis. He's like, I don't need two of them. I'll sell you one. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm not interested in buying a jet ski. And like I said, as they walk along, they end up all of a sudden OB pops up again, coming through a time door, and he's got like this raggedy ass, like giant, like back in the 80s style looking time pad that he constructed. And that's when he goes, it took him 18 months to build this thing. And Loki's just like, what? It's been 18 months, like how's that possible? It's like, it's time's relevant, because I could go from any point in time and come to any point in time I need to. And so after that, basically seeing that, and then Loki basically talking more to Mobius, basically ends up taking reluctant Mobius and making him decide, okay, agree and come along. So once he agrees to come along, that's when they go and basically intervene with Casey and then B-15. Then they all end up back at OB's place. And basically, I think it's Casey. It's like, is this everyone? And Loki says, no, there's one more person we need. And that's when he ends up going to see Sylvie. Of course, she is still same Sylvie, same everything in her timeline. It's still the same timeline in 1982 at the McDonald's she's working at. When he goes there, he's expecting the same thing, just like everyone else, that not to remember him. And she remembers him fine. And he's like, thinking, what the hell? Like, how's this possible? And so, he basically explains, starts talking, and then he time slips a little bit, but stops himself from actual time slipping. The symbol like prints up, it will be using a penis imagery as a name. This is the way. Thank you, Jeff. Everyone needed to know that. And so basically, she's like, get in the car and explain. And so they end up going for a drink at a bar. And, basically Loki's trying to reason with her again. And she's being the same old Sylvie, saying this is how it should be. Free will for everyone, live on their timelines they want to, blah, blah, blah thing. And he's just like, yeah, but shouldn't they have the free will to do what they want to do, like to be able to be a part of the TVA and shit like that. And and she's just like the same old Sylvie, and they drink a couple shots of brandy, and basically that's when they part ways, and he ends up going back to OB's, and basically says no go, guys, we should probably just go back to our timelines. And then it goes back to Sylvie. So before we go into the Sylvie thing and kind of the end of the story, talk about that section of the episode. The whole Mobius section where we talk about it took him 18 months to build the time pad, and then going to get Casey and B-15, and then kind of the conversation they have in the hut before he goes get Sylvie, and then kind of that conversation he has with Sylvie, all that section. What were your guys' thoughts on that? And also, what were your guys' thoughts on what did you think about Sylvie remembering him, but everyone else not remembering him? What was the difference, do you feel? Why she remembered and the others didn't? And what were your thoughts kind of like on how she was brought into it? And how did you feel her reaction was to it? And did you think that it was how it was supposed to be? And then last thing, to kind of go off of that point you were making before, Jeff, about Sylvie not being not having the same good story arc as in the first show. If you notice, she's not a big central focus in this season. And hence, I think that's the reason why her story arc is not as strong. Plus, I think because Kate Herron was the director of the last season, she made sure to focus it on Sylvie because she was a woman. I think that was another one of those feminist moves. That's just my thoughts. It could be, but she was the main focus of that season.
Well, either way, I don't care what happens to the finale. I think I like Loki season 1 better than season 2. I do. I like Sophia DiMartino as Sylvie. I really do. I really enjoy all the episodes of season 1, especially with them together and whatnot and everything. I think season 1 is a classic season. That's why I bought the Blu-ray, right? But no. Ahsoka's fire. I already know that, Raymond. Of course, Ahsoka's fire. But no. I think that I love that OB is getting this much screen time. I love that he got such a pivotal role in the episode. I love that him. I love that he comes out and creates the Temp Pad, and even though he's in this branch timeline, he's just like OB from TVA. He's like kind of just like, this geeky odd dude or whatever, whatnot, and he's like, not surprised by anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll as long as it's like, within his wheelhouse, he'll sit and talk about it. And I love that, basically, he's like, I lost my marriage, my job. Because remember, he was like a professor at Caltech or whatever, whatnot, and everything, right? Like, and all this shit, whatnot, to build it and whatnot. But like, they brush it right off immediately. Like nobody even acknowledges it when he says it and whatnot. I think it's hilarious. The humor is very subtle in this series, but at the same time, I thought that overall the episode was really well done cinematically. I thought everything was really well shot. And there was a lot more light in this episode. Now that we're out of the TVA, things were more illuminated. The colors were more vivid. Did you guys notice that in the episode, that things were a little bit more vivid? They were a little bit more rich than they usually are. Everything is more mundane in the TVA. So like, with us, kind of spending more of our time on Earth in this episode, mostly the colors were more vivid. If folks out there, you'll see it if you haven't watched Loki episode 5 yet. But no, I loved it. I really enjoyed the fact that OB was able to create his version of a Temp Pad. I loved watching him play with it and like seeing him experiment with it and shit and whatnot as he's teleporting them for the first time. And then how far are we going to, Cyber? You're muted, sir.
Before Sylvie goes to the record store.
That's, I mean, well, that's going into the finale. I guess we're going right to the Sylvie going to the record store. I'm just let down by the way they handled her character in this series. Like, I mean, the episode's great. It's a great episode. But I don't like the way they wrote around her. Even though I understand where the direction is going, and I like it. If that makes sense. I like where we're going. I like where we're going in the finale and whatnot, and I'm happy, and I enjoyed the episode a lot. I watched it twice. It was great. It's a great episode. Everyone did a great job. As usual, Natalie Holt with the music. Did you guys notice that in the end credits they used the original Loki theme music for the end credits? I love that music. You noticed that, Andres?
It sounded differently when I heard it.
It was a little bit different, yeah, but it's basically the same music though, right?
Yeah, but I think Natalie Holt is kind of re-orchestrated that first theme to a much more like, because especially this episode is a little more somber because each like score tells you the kind of mood that the episode is. For this one, it feels more moody and a little like somber because of the ending, where we're at with the characters and all that.
Oh, well, we finally figured out where those sticky notes came from that are in the end credits. Those come from OB on his branch timeline in his like working area or whatever, whatnot, his studio area, his like house there. He had that up and whatnot, and that's where that comes from. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, those are my thoughts, Cyber. I mean, the episode flowed well, and all the characters at the point that we're at right now, where Sylvie goes to the record store, it was good to see Mobius back in frame, right? Good to see him. It wasn't like really impactful seeing him at the skidoo, at the jet ski shop, but it was good to have him back in action. I felt like it was a little bit weird when they all came together because they didn't really know what they were supposed to do, right? Like Loki plucked them, but they didn't really know what they were supposed to do. So they were kind of just like oddly like trying to talk to each other and everything and whatnot. And Casey's trying to steal a Temp Pad so he can go like steal, with bank vaults and shit. But anyways, I'll leave it there.
So,
And hold on, Andres. 60-minute man. Hold on. Jeff, what were your thoughts on how Sylvie remembered Loki out of everyone and not anybody else?
I didn't understand it. It doesn't make. I really don't understand. The only reason I would think that would happen would be because they're both Lokis. Other than that, I have nothing.
All right. Awesome. Excellent. Raymond, Booze and Chill, Mr. Yes, you still haven't seen season 2, but if it's as good as season 1, they're going to take care of the shit out of it. Marvel is losing their touch on most of their projects. Yes, we agree that Marvel is losing their touch on a lot of their projects, most definitely. And yes, season 2 is just as good as season 1, so definitely check it out, Raymond. And a third time, you just mean it. It's like summoning Beetlejuice. That is true, yeah. Summoning Beetlejuice. Summoning Beetlejuice. Summoning Beetlejuice. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. All right, Sir Kime Top Dimension, Jean-Claude Van Damme, fan owner. Your thoughts, sir?
You had to say my name twice. Andreas. Anyway. No. Beetlejuice. Anyway. So addressing the Sylvie like the memory. See, that's that's my biggest flaw of this episode is that there's two options that they're probably going. I agree with Jeff, not Cyber. You know what I'm talking. Jeff, the smoking man over there, or penis man. That's his name now. Yeah, I mentioned that like they were both Lokis, but that kind of doesn't make sense because if like we know our Loki is time sleeping. Has Sylvie has been doing time sleeping? That couldn't make more sense, but throughout the series, we haven't seen Sylvie doing time slip, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Then my first option could be she's wearing the Who Remains Temp Pad. Is that protecting her from, this like the race of timeline? That's the other option I'm saying because the fact that we saw her use it again in this episode, for her to go to, where Loki's at, it just makes kind of sense that it's probably that. But yeah, if they're not gonna answer that, that's a very like distracting thing because you have to address like that because that was so weird that she remembered that, and so hopefully, but I don't think they're gonna address that because of next episode, like the fact that Loki like was able to control his time slip. I don't know, like we'll see. But yeah, so it was cool to see, Loki assembling his friends and and then getting to Sylvie. I think it's definitely the best moment for Sylvie as a character in this show. I think it was great to like see why is Loki that desperate to keep the TVA going and like wants to like stop Kane. It's really because he doesn't want to be alone and he wants to be with his friends. For the first time, like you're seeing Loki, has a Sylvie repeats herself. She's selfish, and she wants to be in this timeline. But with Loki, he's not selfless. He's being like a very like passionate person that he really wants this to be his life, having friends and actually doing some good, as a person, because of the journey he has went through for the first season. I really like that, and I think I think what I've been enjoying so much about this season is Loki's character development and finally like progressing him, in this direction that I really like, just like the movies have done with him since the first Thor, and it's impressive that this show has done that after plugging his character out of the 2012 Avengers and taking this new like character arc for the show, and that's really neat. But I'm still unimpressed with Sylvie. I agree with Cyber. I mean, because last season, we were focusing so much on the Loki Sylvie relationship. It just hasn't been that important for this season. So if we ever get a third season, maybe we can have a better chance to focus it again, but we'll see. I'm just curious how important Sylvie will be afterwards. I mean, that's the thing. But yeah, but then after that, it was really cool to see her timeline get erased. Like the effects were really awesome. So I thought that was really neat. How far, Saber? I'm at. You mute, sir.
Before she goes to the record store, so nothing
Okay.
about the record store right
Okay.
to that point.
Yeah, so overall, I like it, and him talking to the people there. I guess I was kind of surprised we didn't do nothing with those guys together, but because he came back to the moment from last episode, so we'll discuss that more when we get to that. But overall, I'm very impressed with the scene. I mean, this is Tom Hiddleston's best acting with Sylvie, so I think that was good. So yeah, I'm done.
Thank you, sir. The time cop recommends that you take 5 minutes. All right. So, great answers, guys. Great answers. All right. So, like I said, we left off when basically Sylvie gets to the record store. She's the only person in it. There's the one gentleman at the counter. She goes in there quite often because he knows her, and she goes in there. and is looking at the records and is like, I got something for you. Having a bad day? She's like, yeah, interesting day, not a great day. He's like, I got something for you that will help you. And he gives her this record to listen to, and she goes in the back, sits down, listens to this record, and then it kind of like fades in and out where she's sitting, getting you an idea. And then it kind of pans back over to the front of the store, and all of a sudden the door opens and the bell rings, but then all of a sudden it goes slow motion into the guy there. And then all of a sudden it shows him he's pouring coffee supposedly into a cup, but then all of a sudden the cup is gone and he's pouring right onto the table, and it's doing slow-mo with that too. And then all of a sudden the guy looks at the back of the building, and all of a sudden everything's starting to shred, turn into the threads, like what happened to Victor Timely and what happened to the TVA after Loki left. And he sees Sylvie. He's like, Sylvia, I got you. And like everything starts to twin, and he's running after her, and then all of a sudden he disappears, and then she sees what's happening, and she basically goes through a doorway to go back to OB's where Loki is. And so she comes popping through after Loki's like, basically downtrodden, depressed, and, just go back to your timelines, blah, blah, blah type of deal. And she comes through and she chimes in, and no, everything's okay. Something just happened back there. And basically that's where, after she gets there, they're standing there and kind of trying to figure things out. And all of a sudden, the same thing, whatever is going after these people and causing this to happen, they're like, we got to figure out who this is and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it starts doing the same thing there. And all of a sudden, Casey disappears, and then OB disappears, and then B-15 disappears. And then as it's starting to encompass, this like giant hole of it starts pulling Sylvie in, and she disappears. And Loki's like still there. He's fine, but he's like fending it off. And he's like trying to figure out what to do. And then all of a sudden he puts it to his mind, and he's able to go back a few seconds before Sylvie was pulled in. And then he does it again, and then he's back before it even starts, and Sylvie just has gotten there. And then as they're sitting there, he's like, I just figured out, guys, how to do this. And Obi's like, really? And he's like, I know how I can fix this. And then he does his thing again, and then all of a sudden he pops back before the explosion of the loom, which we saw at the end of the last episode, and that's how the episode ends. Woo! Another cliffhanger ending, I feel, once again. And so basically that's the end of the episode. So what are your guys' thoughts on the conclusion of the episode? What have you guys thought about the effects? How they're making everyone disappear by shredding elements into like almost like Twizzlers, almost colorized Twizzlers or colorized yarn. Just like how Victor Timely disappeared in the last episode. And what just are your overall thoughts on that ending? And what are your thoughts going into the finale? Where do you think it could take us? Started with you, Time Cop.
Yes. I got theories, got ideas. Yes. Anyway, the spaghetti, the spaghetti, like the race kind of design is really cool because it's kind of like running back. If you guys remember Ant-Man 3, when Ant-Man was in that was a temporal thing, the big giant man like just went down the skitty like that. I don't know if the team of Loki saw that and they were like, I like that. Let's take that.
Same thing with Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness.
Oh yes, exactly. I was thinking there was another one that I remember. Yeah, it was that as well. So I think I like that. It looks good. I mean, again, I've been bringing up this since episode 1. The effects have been top notch. Nothing has been like awful. It has to be inconsistent. It's been consistent. They spend the money. It's good. I like the effects. Especially the time slipping. Like that's really impressive. It reminds me of, like Venom, the symbiote, and like it's just really cool. I think the effects there is really good. I don't think I have a problem with that. But yeah, I was shocked that they yet again like did the cliffhanger. I was like, oh my god, everyone is dying. I was shocked they killed Sylvie. And then when Loki figures out how to control this time slip, it's not because of the event, it's actually a person. So it took me a while to understand like how he did it. So basically what he did after he did it the first time, controlling the time slip, he, focused on the one person that was Sylvie at that moment. And then after that, he now thought about the one person, and that was OB, to the time limit bomb explosion from last episode. That's what happened before the episode ends. That he focused on OB as the person to go back to before the explosion happened in episode 4. So that was really cool. Yeah. So any ideas where they're going? I guess that maybe Loki will be the one that will like. I think we'll probably see Victor Timely again. I guess he probably will stop Timely before entering outside because of the temporal radiation, and he will replace him and go outside because he's the only one that can probably withstand the radiation. Maybe because of the time slipping he has. So we probably maybe have like a time loop maybe episode like Groundhog Day or Age of Tomorrow type maybe. I hope, but that's just my theory. Or not. It could be he can save them by having a new strategy by not going outside. They probably do something else that will fix the time, the temporal aura maybe. So that's my theory about next episode. But overall, I like this episode. It's a good episode, but it's not the best. But that's all I have to say. Hopefully that's 60 minutes. Oh my god, what can we do?
Thank you, Time Cop.
Can't help you bloody your
Jeff.
tiny son of
So Jeff, sir, symbol of a penis. Your thoughts, sir, on the conclusion of the episode?
What do you say, bro?
It's a great conclusion. I really like that song that that guy played at the record store for Sylvie. That was really good. I don't know who that was, but that was a great song. It was really good. Besides that, I think that it's hard to digest. I mean, honestly, Loki season 2 is really good, and episode 5 was a lot. It really was like it's been a big like. It'll be interesting maybe down the road to try to do some kind of like compare or contrast of season 1 versus season 2, like type deal. Andres, you know what I'm saying? Like, do a show where you try to compare or contrast season 2, season 1. Just because this is so much deeper than season 1 was. Like, it's so meta that with the time slipping and everything and whatnot, Loki getting control of it. It's like, okay, so what are you now? Like, there's videos on YouTube, Screen Crushes saying that Loki started the TVA himself or whatever, like at some point, like in the Ouroboros, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he actually was the one that really did start the TVA, and and then and then He Who Remains came in, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just I love the mystique of like not knowing what the fuck is going on. I love it. It's like with the Echo trailer. I loved the gritty, kind of like mystic, dark art kind of like trope to it, along with the music. That really got me. With this, what really got me was Tom Hiddleston Loki. Especially at the end, when he's like, I know I can rewrite the story, right? Like, I don't have to go like create my own story. Like, he was going to give up there for a minute, right? And then he bounces back. He needs Sylvie. He he can't be alone. Like, he needs that support. And like, can you blame him? Again, it's only been less than 2 weeks since he actually got, like, since season 1 first started. I mean, so it's a lot to deal with, a lot what he's been dealing with. But no, it's a great ending. I'm really excited for the finale. Jay Rent's coming on with us and whatnot and everything. It's going to be great. And that's all I got, folks.
Thank you, sir. All right. So let's go around and give ratings. Andres, what rating do you give it, sir?
A 8 out of 10. Yeah. Folks, don't listen to these folks. I put 8 or 7 out of 10 before, so it's not a big deal. So yeah, it's 8 out of 10. I don't think it's not the best Loki episode. It's very filler. I mean, we have like still unanswered questions instead of answer questions, so it could be frustrating. But with this episode, it's not frustrating. It's a very fun episode, just to seeing these characters at different timelines, and seeing Loki interacting with them in a very funny way. So it's it's funny. Like, it was funny to see Casey as one of the prisoners that tried to escape Alcatraz was funny. I mean, that was hilarious. And then of course OB being this fail sci-fi author. And apparently, by the way, it's 19 months. I just checked in my notes. It's 19 months it took OB to fix. It
was 19, yes, 19.
Yeah, 19 months. Yeah, 19 months to do it. And because he has to take.
Months.
Yeah, 19 months.
No, it's 18 actually.
Whatever. It destroyed his marriage, folks. He lost his wife, his house, everything. Let's think about that. He tried everything to save Loki. Anyway, so yeah, it
sounds like it's his fault.
I've been through that too. It's not that bad. You bounce back.
Yeah, he will bounce back. Hey, at least he's going to be a important, inventor into TVA. And last thing, to address Jeff, you're talking about the mystique of the show. I mean, you're always going to be convoluted when you do time travel. So I can see Loki being the one that created the TVA by accident. This is it's going to start another branch where this is how the TVA was created by not by Who Remains, by Loki. Maybe. That's probably where they're going to go. So I can see this end of the series that Loki will take control of the TVA, because because this episode you see him grown as a person. I can see him take over the TVA, have Sylvie and Mr. M be by his side to help defeat Kang. And this is how we probably lead into the next 2 Avengers movies, hopefully. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Bye. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you for that 60-minute long ranking number, sir. Thank you for the contact dimension of 2079. Thank you very much. All right. I gave it a 10. What do you give it, Jeff?
7.5. Not a filler episode, but I think it'll end up being the least effective episode out of the 6. I do. I liked episode 4 better. I did.
Same here.
Yeah. So still a good episode though, and the series has been great. Honestly, I couldn't be happier to be a Marvel fan, except for the fact that again there's an inconsistency in the fact that I know the Marvels is coming out in a week or whatever, right, or a week and a half or whatever, whatnot, and
Next
like
Friday.
I'm gonna go fucking fork over a bunch of money or whatever, whatnot on opening night to go watch it, like a dutiful little slave to Disney, right, and go pay my fucking tribute and shit and whatnot, right, to go fucking sit and watch the Marvels so that we can review it. You know what I mean, whatnot, and everything, or whatever, or how, you know, whatever we're gonna do, whatever, whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and watch it and whatnot because I'm a content creator. That's my job, right? That's what we do. So like, I'm gonna go watch it and whatnot and everything and suck it up. But it's probably gonna suck, right? And that sucks because like I just hate I hate the yin yanging of the MCU right now. What we all relied on for so long was the consistency. From title to title, that we were going to get this consistent quality of some kind, right? Like, you know, on some level, there'd be quality that we could rely on. And when you have that here, and then you got something else coming out in the same fucking cinematic universe that you know is going to probably fucking suck. It just stinks. Again, because I'm an MCU fan. So, like, fuck, man. I want people to come back with us, right? And be like, you know, let's do it. Kevin Feige fucking, like, you know, nut up. All right, Cyber. Are you trying to scare me or what, man? What the fuck?
No, I'm Kevin Feige. I'm hiding behind the shitty quality that's going on.
I thought that I mean, honestly, I thought I just want
to introduce you to the 60-minute avenue of Andreas too. That's all.
Haven't you, Cyber? Honestly, haven't you always figured that Feige likes a challenge?
I don't know.
He comes off to me like he likes to be challenged. He likes to. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, he's a humble, pretty humble guy, and I'll tell you right now, if it was up to me, all right, here I got a question. Andres, would you invest in the MCU right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Would you invest your money in the MCU right now?
I mean, yeah, over DC. I mean, basically.
No, in general, would you invest money into the MCU right now?
Invest in the MCU now?
Yeah. Would you put money in? Would you invest money into it, expecting to make money off of it?
I mean, realistically, yes, because of the proven track record they have for the last 15 years. Like, look, like Guardians Volume 3 did perform well. So it's just the thing where not every superhero movie is going to work out and you know, be as successful as the other. So it's not like a big surprise. You know, it's like we've been on this road before, so it's not a big surprise. So yeah, I will invest that.
Cyberneticshark, would you invest into the MCU?
Yeah, so I can make it better.
Yeah.
Okay,
make it better.
I like that. Yeah. Good response.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna invest in something. You're gonna put your money into it. You're gonna make it better. That's what doing that is. That's what the producers do. That's what the writers do. You know, if you put your money into it, you want to make sure it's the best thing you're putting out there. And when you are being led by these woke monsters, that's what you're going to get. And that's what happened. It's that in a nutshell. All the delays and all the wokeness that has gone into the MCU is the reason why it has become the shit show it has.
That sucks when you got to go out of your pocket to pay for your entertainment like that, though. You know what I'm saying? I
mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of things in life that we pay for that we don't get any pleasure out of. That's just the scheme of life. So, you know, yes, unfortunately, yes, we're putting out money into something that we love that's not as good, but you got to understand, sometimes there are going to be things that you're going to put your money into that it is a waste, unfortunately. That's just how it is. Yep. So, you know, the MCU, like I just said, you know, unfortunately, it's had a really bad downside since hitting its peak with Avengers Endgame. And, yeah, you know, like Andre said, yes, Guardians did very well back in May. Yes, it did. You know, a lot of people loved it. Some of us didn't. They thought it didn't feel like the last two films. But at the same time, though, even though these movies haven't been critically loved, or some people have hated it, they haven't liked the continuity, how they've done it, with that and stuff like that. Still, these movies are still making money that are going back into it to try to maybe, hopefully, they'll take that money and make better content later on. So you got to try to it's hard in a time like this to try to be hopeful for these things. But at the same time, if we keep trying to think hopeful and that it's going to get better, which I honestly thought it was starting to get better with Ant-Man, Quantumania. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It really was a good starter film for the fifth phase. It really was, because it was Peyton Reed directed it. It felt just like the other two Ant-Man films. And we got the introduction to a Kang, and with all the money that Marvel was already put into saying that the next two Avenger films are Kang Dynasties or Kang films, you can't go back on that and try to revamp it. There's too much money involved already. So, unfortunately, they're going to have to stick with Jonathan Majors, no matter what the outcome is of his supposed trial, whatever. But like I was saying before, the only reason he didn't get dismissed was because that stupid-ass judge was some stupid dumbass that thought, oh, well, there's another case that I saw over here.
I think we're all universally on the same page here between me and Andres and you that like Majors didn't do anything wrong, and
Exactly.
right, Andres, it's obvious that it's bullshit. That you can't have your finger broken and then unbroken like a week later. It doesn't work that way. It's not humanly possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is bullshit. It's fucked up. Again, I'm not on some bros versus hoes shit, folks, but we support Jonathan Majors here at the MCU's Bleeding Edge because we're men right now. This is me and Andres and Cyber. Last time I checked, are men, and Jonathan Majors is getting shafted.
Yep, still man. Yep.
I mean, he really is getting shafted, and it's not right. It's a bunch of legal hypocrisy and bullshit. Which is that's for another show. But Cyber, do you want to close this out, brother, before I pull us up for plugs?
Yes, sir. My screen froze. Hold on.
I know you were going into Iceman mode there for a minute. I was about to insert a Jeff symbol in there.
Am I unfrozen on your side right now?
Oh yeah, you're in you're in Iceman mode.
Okay. Can you hear me though? At least
good picture of you, but your eyes are closed.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Keep
So
talking with your frozen self. It's great.
okay. All right, guys. All right. So that is the episode for tonight, guys. You guys have been awesome.
I love
Don't forget. Next week, next Wednesday, we have Godfather Part 2 that we're going to be doing, and then next Friday, of course, will be the season finale of Loki Season 2. What do you guys got going on your end there, Andreas? And what do you guys got for the MCU Monday?
We have, well, let's say we're going to have another review of WandaVision Episode 3. So check us on that. And plus, we're going to briefly discuss the Riot article that I sent Jeff last Wednesday when we did Zombieland. I'll discuss briefly on some of the rumors that brought up, like the Marvels, the Blade. You guys talked about a little bit about the 5 wires and all that. So we're going to just discuss that briefly before we do the WandaVision Episode 3 re-review. So, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Episode 3, remember that, Cyber? Episode 3 is a good episode.
Yep. Very good episode. Really enjoyed it. And do we want to do plugs?
Yeah, I'm going to pull them up right now.
Go ahead and start with Andreas.
Yes. Mr. Freeze here is unable to freeze himself. Unfreeze.
Yeah, it's like stuck on my end. I don't know why it's stuck.
Anyway, so hello everyone. My name is Andreas, Pop Culture Guy, This is my channel, up to 838 subscribers, so not too much movement there. I just posted a Captain America tribute. Tomorrow I'm gonna put a Zombieland movie tribute, and Sunday we have another live stream. Me and Jeff, we're gonna do a 28 Days Later movie live stream discussion. So check us on 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, whatever, and Sunday. So yeah, and yeah, thank you so much, you guys. It's been a blast. Continue supporting me and Cyber to hit that mark towards the end of this year. Hopefully we make it. And please help Cyber unfroze himself now, please. He needs the help. He needs to get it. So, but thank you, everyone.
He needs customer support.
It's customer support.
It's getting icy in here.
Yes. Please.
I am Iceman. I am also Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Chill.
I love it.
Instead of booze and chill, I'm freezing.
Oh no, Saber disappear. Oh god. Saber, come back. I hope you can.
Cyber, can you see your thing?
Oh god, he left.
Oh, he lost him? You know what?
Lost.
I'll do his plugs.
All right.
Or do I? So, this is Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel. Now, Cyber is at 709 subscribers. We need to improve that. That needs to hit 1,000 for the end of the year. It's that simple. On the videos, he just did his review of Killers of the Flower Moon, which I was going to go see the other day until I found out that it was 3 hours and 46 minutes, and I was like, fuck that. I did not go. He did his creator review 4 days ago, which I already checked out. It's pretty good. The Creator's a great movie, and Cyber agrees. And he is on his shorts, killing it on looks like some weak ass Muppet Treasure Island shit or whatever. Andres, what do you think? Oh, he's doing the Muppet movies. There you go.
Yeah, they're great, sir.
There you go. I know, you're right. 3 Days to Kill, Zombieland. Oh, he did a double tap too?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, shit. Cyber pumped out some shorts, baby. Sleepaway Camp, nice tits. There you go. Well, there you go, folks. What's up, Andres?
Yeah, you did good. You did. Just have to say, you did good. As a friend.
All right, folks. Well, look, folks, that is the end of our review of Loki episode 5. Cyber, his Wi-Fi fell into the time cop dimension and got spaghettified or something. I'm not even sure. So we're gonna get out of here, but we love you, and we will see you on Monday. Me and Andres will see you on Monday.
Yep.
10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, WandaVision episode 3, a bunch of Marvel news and rumors and shit and whatnot and everything. It'd be fucking dope. We promise.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon. Peace.
Just let the man breathe and just hush so my mind could just see so my mind don't erupt. At times I feel I can't get enough, but I sit the double